Hello, thank you for tuning in to read another story with me. We are going to be reading a nonfiction book today. Remember, nonfiction, those are books that teach us new information and that help us to learn new things. Normally, that writing is informational, it's trying to teach us something. A couple of ways we can tell that a book is nonfiction is we can look at the pictures. Are they illustrations or are they actual photographs? That's normally a good hint. And then you can also think, does the story have characters and a setting and a problem and a solution? If it doesn't have those things, it's probably nonfiction. It's probably teaching you something instead. So, we're going to be reading this really great story called Unusual Owls. Now, while we're reading this story, it's written by Jeffrey L. Williams. I want you thinking, what is the main idea of this story? What is this story, Unusual Owls, mostly about? And then can you think of maybe some supporting details that help support this main idea? What's this author mostly trying to teach us about? The title normally gives us a hint, right? All right, since it's nonfiction, there's some really cool text features in here. We have a table of contents. So these have all the different chapters we're going to be reading about. How are owls like other birds is on page 2. We're going to talk about food, eyes, ears, sleeping, owl facts, and then there's a glossary and index at the end. I'm going to go to the glossary and index before I start reading because they are normally filled with important vocabulary terms I need to know when I'm reading the story. So, the glossary has 3 terms in it. It's kind of like a mini dictionary in the back of the book. First term is beak, a hard, sharp covering for a bird's nose and mouth. Second one is insects, bugs, small animals with 3 body parts and 6 legs. And last one is the word unusual. So things that are different and they're not like most other things. Okay, let's look at our index. Index, it's not like a glossary. It goes in ABC order and it has important words and it tells you what pages they're on. So let's say you really wanted to learn just about owls' feathers. You'd find the word feathers and you'd go across. You could look at page 3, page 13, or page 16. All of those pages talk about owls' feathers. So that's how you would use an index. Beak, ears, eggs, eyes, feathers, food, sleep, and wings. Those are all important terms we're going to be reading about in our story. So let's go ahead and get started with Unusual Owls. And I want you thinking, what is the main idea of this book? What is the author mostly trying to teach me about? Okay. How are owls like other birds? Owls are like other birds in many ways. They have wings and feathers. They have a beak. So those are ways that they're similar to other birds. Ooh, they're comparing. That's pretty cool. And they lay eggs. But owls are not the same as most birds. They are unusual. And remember, unusual is bolded. If I go back to my glossary in the back of the book, it says unusual means different, not like most other things. So owls are like birds, but they're also very different. Let's see if we can keep reading. And that kind of looks unusual. Look at his head. Food. Most birds eat insects or seeds. Owls eat meat. They eat small animals like mice, rabbits, and squirrels. Oh, so that's a way that they're different than other birds. Good. Eyes. Most birds have eyes on the sides of their heads. An owl has eyes on the front of its face, just like we do. So that's another way owls are different than other birds. They're different or unusual. Noticing a pattern here about the information we're learning. Ears. All birds have holes for ears, just like you. Most birds have ears that are both the same size and shape. Owls have holes for ears too, but owl ears can be different sizes and different shapes. They hide under feathers where you can't see them. So the right ear hole is hidden right here, and the left ear hole is hidden right here. That's very different. And their ears can be different sizes and different shapes. Owls look like they have ears on top of their heads. I always thought that those were the owl's ears, but they're not. But those are not ears, they are just feathers. That's really interesting. I'm learning some cool facts. Sleeping. Most birds sleep at night and are awake all day. Most owls are awake all night and they sleep all day. So here's a regular bird asleep at night, awake during the day. Here's an owl, awake at night, asleep during the day. They're called nocturnal. That means they sleep during the day and are awake at night. All right, let's do some fun owl facts. There are over 200 kinds of owls. Some owls catch and eat fish. We learned that they like to eat meat. Not all owls hunt at night. Oh, so some will still hunt during the day. A barn owl can catch over 1,000 mice in a year. Owls cannot move their eyes. They have to turn their heads. So their eyes can't move like ours can. Instead, their eyes stay forward and they have to turn their entire head if they want to see something. Very cool. An owl can turn its head to see behind it. So they can turn their head all the way around so that they can see all the way behind them. We can't do that. I can only turn about halfway. Owls have special feathers to make them silent flyers, and this helps them hunt. So their wings don't make a lot of noise when they're flying. And then at the end we have our glossary again and our index. Awesome. Okay, so your letter C challenge for today. I want to see, can you think, what was the main idea of that story? What was that story mostly teaching us about? Was it mostly teaching us about owls' eyes? Is that what the whole thing was about? That was part of it. Is it mostly teaching us a story about owls that was funny and cute? No, it wasn't a story. It was nonfiction. What was this story mostly about? Once you figured out what it's mostly about, what the main idea is, can you try and pick 3 details that support that main idea? I'm going to give you the title again. This is giving you a huge hint. Unusual owls. Are owls like all the other birds, or are they different? That's a good hint for your main idea. All right, I hope to see you doing a great job with this challenge. Thanks for tuning in for a story with me, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.